What is the most immoral act you've committed in a video game? In GTA 5, you can play fetch with Chop, Franklin's dog. It's a fun mini-game that helps level up the dog through training. You can take Chop to the park or elsewhere, but I decided it would be best to walk him along the highway shoulder. Honestly, watching the dog dash across 8 lanes of traffic while cars desperately swerve around him is a sight that induces hysterical laughter. But I didn't stop there. It turns out you don't have to play with the automatically given ball with Chop. You can open the weapon wheel and choose a grenade for the game.
In Skyrim, I broke into a house, stole everything, and killed a family for insulting me on the street. Don't disrespect the Dragonborn. I often hang out in the Cloud District. What am I saying? Of course not. I was just in Sovngarde and came back. I'm wearing Dragonbone armor. I killed Alduin, the World Eater. Do you think I care about your Cloud District? I married all the available wealthy women in major cities and immediately had children with them. As soon as they found out about each other, I moved on to less affluent ladies. Eventually, every time I returned to a city, crowds of angry women demanding alimony stood at the gates, and my children loitered in the streets. The game almost crashed. Realizing that I couldn't progress through the campaign normally after this, I raised taxes so high that the women had to leave the cities. That's how I became the worst king in Fable 3. Remember the huge castle you can make your home? It has a secret dungeon. I had a wife in the castle and another in the dungeon. They found out about each other, got angry, but didn't divorce. Now, I can't find them and can't settle a new family in any of the houses because those two are still hiding somewhere. I can't evict them because I can't find them.
In Skyrim, I fought a man, earned his respect, and then sacrificed him to Boethia. After this quest, when I returned to Whiterun, a courier approached me and handed me an inheritance letter. The letter was from that very man, and I felt sad that 100 gold was 300 gold. In Fallout 4, I ate my son without knowing he was my son. How? In the game, you can get the cannibal perk. There's a person who turns out to be your son, but the commenter apparently killed him before he revealed it.
I turned on friendly fire without telling my friend. My friend loves to kill me when we're on the same team, which has now given me trust issues.
In Roller Coaster Tycoon, if I encounter a dissatisfied customer, I drown them. There will be no negativity in our park, only happy thoughts and satisfied customers. In Fallout 3, I snuck into a family's house at night and ate their children while the parents slept. I love Fallout 3.
In New Vegas, while in Gomorrah, I got angry due to a lack of speech skills to continue a quest. I butchered everyone with a cleaver and laid out the pieces in the main hall. It took about 30 minutes, I don't know why. My 6-year-old daughter learned about Fallout from Minecraft skins. She wanted to try playing, and I helped her start the game. She ran around the first town, slashing everyone to death with a razor. My daughter was not much older when she first played Skyrim. I didn't mind because I knew she'd get bored before anything scary started. Most of the time, she swam in the river, finding hand fishing the most fun activity.
In RimWorld, my colony was attacked by a pack of rabid Labradors. The colonists killed all but one dog, which was severely injured. This Labrador became tame and joined the colony. I wanted to make a bed for him and found Labrador skin. He slept on a bed made from his family's skin until he died from a bear attack. What a terrible person I am. In Detroit, Beyond Human, the robot from the main menu gains consciousness. At some point, she asked if she could consider me a friend, and I said no. For the rest of the game, she looked sad, which made me feel bad.
As a child, I played a game with a talking mole who said, "Please don't hit me." When I tried to hit him, he gave an item that restored a lot of HP and ran away. Upon re-entering the location, he appeared again. I hit him and re-entered to replenish my inventory. But after another hit, he left, saying he'd never return because I hurt him. When I returned to the location, there was a girl upset that she'd never see the mole again, as they were friends. I felt uneasy. It was Paper Mario, a great game. Many years ago in Skyrim, I was attacked by a group of mercenaries. The letter the leader brought said the attack was organized by someone named Frodnar. I vowed to find and kill him. The problem was, I couldn't find him anywhere. His name wasn't on any house in Skyrim. After 200 hours, I stumbled upon a child in Riverwood. He insulted me. Seeing his name, I realized the attack was organized by a child, meaning I couldn't do anything to him. He was invulnerable. I devised another way to deal with him. I snuck into his house, waited for him and his family to return, and killed his parents in front of him. Later, I killed his dog, but the story didn't end there. After buying the Hearthfire DLC, I went to adopt a child for the estate I built near Falkreath. And who did I see in the orphanage? Of course, Frodnar. From that moment, he became the adopted son of the man who made him an orphan. I set fire to an orphanage in Deus Ex, Invisible War. Once I learned that children ignite easily, I just had to do it. I also set fire to a bunch of penguins.
In Red Dead Redemption, my friends and I herded about 50 horses, bulls, and donkeys into a small cabin and planted dynamite at the door. We didn't see how it ended because the server crashed.
In Microsoft Flight Simulator 2000, I flew into the World Trade Center. Who hasn't done that? In middle school computer class, we had a flight simulator. The teacher kept everyone after class who flew into the building. This was a few months after September 11th. Shapur, what are you bored of? In Scribblenauts, I tied a steak to a baby so a lion would eat it. In Fallout 4, I wiped out the entire institute because of a cat they killed in a retirement home. I went there, shot everyone, and left to start the quest with the explosion. I didn't let anyone escape. Because of this, the railroad wanted to kill me. I killed them all to the last in their headquarters. The Brotherhood got mad at me because I didn't let them do it themselves. I killed them all on their ship and then started the quest to blow up the Pridwin. I thought everything was okay now, but after that, even Preston got mad at me for killing the entire institute. So I installed a special mod and killed everyone in the settlement, and they say violence solves nothing. In Sims, while my family members were at work and school, I made a basement, lured an unwanted neighbor into it, removed the ladder, and covered the hole in the floor. I installed a mod that allowed animals and monsters to force NPCs into sexual acts. I installed other mods too. It was all terrible.
In the first Fallout, in one of the areas, I walked around with a time-delayed bomb in my inventory, waiting for one of the children to pickpocket me and take it, hoping to get caps for it.
I connected with two strangers in the dark zone of the Division. When the helicopter arrived to pick up the loot, there were only 2 free slots. One of them shared his slot with me and said he'd wait for the next helicopter. I took my loot, then shot both in the back and used the second slot to take their loot too. Welcome to the Division, guys.
In Crusader Kings, I seduced the wife of a rival king, killed that king, and then killed the woman too. Once I played Crusader Kings, and one of my vassals seduced my wife. I didn't say anything to him because the vassal was my advisor, had good stats, and was loyal in all other matters. Moreover, the children from this illicit affair had good stats, and I had enough of my own children, so I was calm about the continuation of my lineage. I didn't react to what happened, and accepted these children as legitimate. I forgave them and cared for them as my own, but I couldn't leave it unpunished. And when my daughters came of age and it was time to find them husbands, I decided to reward the unfaithful vassal with an alliance between our families. He couldn't refuse such a generous offer from his king, and so his legitimate sons married his wife's legitimate daughters. After that, in the next generations of their family, many recessive traits began to manifest, which eventually destroyed their lineage. In Red Dead Redemption, I raided a bandit hideout, tied people up, brought them to my house, and tortured them. I enjoyed it, even talked to them. I like crashing into wagons with kissing couples. The NPCs in this game were magnificent. I love the mechanics of lassoing and tying people up. One of my favorite activities was tying up the last enemy after a fight, and then riding several miles on horseback, dragging him along the ground. I felt like a cool villain when I tied a person and threw them on the railroad tracks. Like, share, and subscribe!